Hey, make sure that you stay to the end because there is a little bonus that I forgot. And if you like what you hear, make sure to subscribe and like the video. All right, I am doing my weekend hike. These are usually between 8 and 12 kilometers. And just because I'm doing a longer hike today and I'm with nobody because I think everybody's afraid of the icy storm weather. Anyways, all my hiking groups canceled, so I'm by myself. So it's a good opportunity to do a little bit of recording. Do the best I can here on this type of environment. If it starts to hail or something, I'll have to shelter, so it might not work so well. Anyways, I wanted to share some financing tips because that's what I really enjoy. I like working with numbers, and I like making money, and I like helping others do the same. I wanted to share this little tip with you. I have been talking to a few different investors who are stock investors, and they have what we would call high income covered call ETFs that they invest in. And these high income ETFs earn over 10%, and that's usually my target if I'm going to have cash that's sitting around. What they were talking about was how they could best use funds and leverage in order to create a higher investment yield for themselves. So what that means in layman's terms is, let's say you were to buy a car and you have the money to buy the car. So let's say the car is $30,000, and instead of using the cash to buy the car, you take out a loan because you know that the car company is going to give you a loan for the full amount of the car. And let's say the loan amount is, I don't know, what is it now? Probably closer to 10%. Okay, maybe it's lower if you have higher qualifications, whatever that is. So let's say that's what you're going to end up doing. Now, you borrow the funds. Now you take the $30,000 that you were going to use to pay the car, and you invest it into something that's going to earn you more than 10%. You want to earn more than 10% because that's what it's going to cost you to borrow. So the difference between what you earn and what you pay is that interest rate differential is your yield. Now, the amount that you will yield is going to vary depending on what your tax rate is on the money. Okay, so let's say that instead of taking the $30,000 that you have, and we'll say this $30,000 is in your stock account. Okay, you take those $30,000 and you, instead of just having it in your stock account, you pull it out and then you buy the car with it. Now, that doesn't seem like it makes sense. But what if instead of taking that $30,000 loan on the car, you do a $30,000 investment loan and you pay that same 8%? So you end up with a $30,000 loan that you're paying 8% on. Oh, sorry, it's getting kind of icy here. So what you want to do is you take that money and you invest it, okay? And you can earn your 15% yield. But the interest on that money, that 8% that you're paying, is now tax deductible. So depending on your tax rate, say your tax rate is in, I don't know, the highest tax rate in Canada, which is like 50%, a little bit higher. So that means that you're effectively paying 4% for that money. And if you can yield higher than 10%, that interest rate differential is much bigger. So you're making more money. So depending on where you're taking the money from, you can earn more or less. And that's really what I think about, is being able to make dollars do double duty for me. Whenever I borrow money, I want to borrow money on assets that make me money. And I always want to pay cash for, I would call it a a car a depreciating liability. Now I say that because usually when you drive a car off a lot, it loses money as soon as you drive it off. Doesn't mean that it's a bad thing, it just means that you have to keep that in mind. So from a depreciating liability perspective, it's better to pay for something like that from cash. And then any investments, you can use an investment loan. Now, you need to talk to your accountant, tax professional, whatever you feel that will make you more comfortable. Don't come back after me if you can't figure this out yourself. That's what this whole YouTube place is about, right? Just sharing some knowledge and making sure that you can go back and apply it quickly. Have a great one, everyone. I gotta watch out. There's some serious ice coming up here on the path, and I don't have my icers on right now. So have a great one, and we'll see you on the next long hike for a longer video. Well, it's raining now, and I forgot to add in one other thing. So another example that was used was that the thing that was being bought at 0% financing. So that's a little different. If you're buying something with 0% financing, that means you're not paying an interest amount on the debt. And in that case, it might actually make sense to purchase the asset with 0% financing, pay it off over time, and then use the funds that you did have to invest and create a yield with. So there may be times when buying something on financing and investing those funds makes a lot of sense. Because if you're paying a high interest amount on that item, like credit card level interest, or even sometimes less than that, it may make sense to do what I first said. Anyways, had time to think a little bit as I'm walking, and the weather's getting a little bit worse, so I'm gonna put this away for now. Whoa, check this out.